All right. Okay, as Ms. Arns said, I'm Mrs. Williams. I have students with the last names DF through HE. So I'm the new one on board here, so it's nice to see you guys. Today I'll be talking to you about Duquesne University. A couple of the things that we'll be covering today are the application process, the admission facts, some specialty programs that the university offers, cost of education, which includes your tuition, room and board, meal plans, things like that, campus life and other miscellaneous facts, and then we'll open it up for questions at the very end. Okay? Okay, so Duquesne has rolling admission. Okay, in general, it's rolling admission. However, they do have the early decision option, and the deadline for early decision is November 1st. For early decision, just as a reminder, if you don't know, this is when you apply to a university early, okay, and it's a binding agreement. You're saying that if you accept me to your university, I will withdraw all of my other applications, and I will come to your university. So that is a binding agreement. The other option is early action, and that deadline is December 1st. This is when you have an option. You can apply early, and you can find out if you've been accepted early, but it's not binding. It's not legally binding. All right? In order for you guys to also be accepted as part of the application process, they do require one letter of recommendation and a personal essay, but this is dependent upon the major that you are applying for. There is a $50 application fee, and I just was on their website this morning, and they were sharing that any senior student who applies now before December 15th, that application fee will be waived, all right? So it's actually zero to you guys if you're applying before December 15th for senior students. There are approximately 6,000 undergraduate students, and what's really neat about some of the programs that Duquesne offers is that they do have a direct entry program. For those of you who were here for the University of Pitt presentation, it's very similar, but the direct entry program, as you can see listed on the PowerPoint presentation, they have that for physician assistant, physical therapy, occupational therapy, pharmacy, nursing, and speech and language pathology. These are very competitive programs, but what's nice is that once you're accepted and can continue to get the graduate portion of that education as well. Duquesne is also a test optional school, so similar to other schools, if you meet certain requirements and do other parts of the application process, you may not have to submit any of your SAT or ACT scores. All right. Some admission facts for Duquesne. For the SAT and ACT, the middle 50% of current freshmen, okay? So that's not necessarily the average, but it's between above the 25% and then also the 75% of their ranges. So the 50% of current freshmen, their SAT is a combined score of 1,135, with math being at 565 and reading at 570. And then the middle 50% for the composite score for the ACT is 25. The average GPA is 3.57, and they have an overall acceptance rate of 73%. Okay. This school, although it is a private Catholic university, they have 80 majors in 9 different schools. I won't go ahead and list them all as they're listed on the presentation here, but a wide variety of options for students. All right, some other things that we're going to talk about are the specialty programs that Duquesne offers. These programs, I touched on a little bit, include the direct entry programs, but they're specially designed with an accelerated pathway. So for example, if you're going into the physician assistant program, you might have a 3+3. So you'll do 3 years of undergraduate and then 3 years of graduate, okay? You still have the option to walk with your class at graduation. So while you're still going to be going on and pursuing a higher level of education, you still have that option of walking with the class that you entered with your freshman class. They also have in their law school, they have a direct entry for 3 years of undergraduate plus 3 years of graduate, and they partner with over 30 schools, other schools within the state that have wonderful law programs. And then in addition to that, with Duquesne still being as part of the city in the Pittsburgh schools, they have UPMC partnerships. And UPMC is, overall, they're a large health network that is in Pittsburgh. So they partner a lot and have co-op or internship experiences for students who go to Duquesne. All right. Some other specialty programs that are offered include study abroad. So on this picture on the PowerPoint presentation, this is actually a picture of Dublin. They have a great relationship and partnership with University College Dublin. And as a student, if you were to go and study abroad in Dublin, you can stay at the St. Michael's House, and it was built in 1860. It's actually a large historic mansion, and up to 20 students from Duquesne will go there and can be housed in that mansion. So it's a nice opportunity. I don't know if anyone's been to Ireland, but it's absolutely beautiful. And, you know, obviously you get a different taste of culture and things like that. As far as the study abroad options, besides the Dublin option, in general, you can go to Rome. They have partnerships in Rome, and also all other campuses. If there's a place that you want to go, the study abroad office, I'm sure, has sent somebody at some point, so that's where you would want to start to try to get, you know, the application rolling with that. They also offer scholarship opportunities for students who want to study abroad. Just on their website, even this morning, they had a $1,000 scholarship application that you can complete. They also have, if you're not somebody who wants to go away for an entire semester, because that can be a long time to be away from home, they have an option called Maymester, and this is 4 weeks abroad. Okay, so it's a shorter period of time, but it happens in May, and you get to go and enjoy and have the feel for study abroad, but knowing that it's not going to be as long as a semester. They also have other short-term programs in the summer months, so June, July, August, and they also do a thing called spring breakaway. So if you're curious and interested in studying abroad over spring break, you can also do that as well. They do have an award-winning freshman development program, and I think this is a great thing to talk to you guys about as juniors and seniors. Being oriented to a campus as a freshman to college could be pretty overwhelming, but Duquesne has a great program where they help orient you, and most colleges do, so it makes it a smooth transition. But in addition to that, they also have a very supportive freshman honor society, and they also do a great job with monitoring freshman students with their grades and providing academic and tutoring services when it's needed. All right, for the cost of education, the in-state tuition is approximately $35,000. This does vary by major and program. All right, so in order for you to really get a feel for that, you will want to visit the website. The room and board is approximately $11,000, well, almost about $12,000, so $11,700. You have multiple options for living, so you can live in a suite style, double. They do have limited amounts of singles. The other nice thing, aside to living on campus, if you wanted to live off campus, keep in mind with all of these Pittsburgh schools, you're right in the city or right on the outskirts, and it's easy to access, you know, the city and go from the campus to the city. So you always have that option to live off campus as well if you had, wanted to pursue that. They do have an amazing meal plan, and one of the things we liked about Duquesne is that they have 11 dining locations. And this is on and off campus. So if you went to a local restaurant off campus from Duquesne, they accept a lot of the meal plan points and money so that you can go off campus to a restaurant and you can have wing night, you know, for any of the college games or any football games, and, you know, change up your environment a bit and your food options. Also, just to touch on, they have living learning centers. So this is on campus in certain living situations where you may live with students who are also in the same major as you, and that helps when you really need to study for, you know, your anatomy and physiology exam, and, you know, rather than you staying up until 2 or 3 in the morning and your roommate going to bed at 11, this is a good opportunity for you to connect with other students who have the same interests as you and the same majors as you, so you guys can connect and try to support each other throughout your education experience. They do offer financial aid. Approximately 99% of students receive some form of aid at Duquesne. They also have a financial aid application for just their university, and they also participate in the FAFSA. All right? They have a net price calculator on their website, so if you were curious to see what your real out-of-pocket cost would be for going to Duquesne, you can go on their website, plug in some information that the website asks you for their net price calculator. This may ask you questions about your family size, if you have any other siblings that might be in college. So it's a good avenue for you to explore, so you can really get a true feel for what it will actually cost you. One additional thing, I'm not quite sure if anyone in the audience here is interested in going to school for education, but Duquesne did share with us that they're actually reducing their tuition price for the School of Education by half, okay? So that's a significant tuition reduction. So if you're interested in education, definitely check out Duquesne. Some other things just last to point out is campus life and other miscellaneous facts. So they have a 99% job placement for their pharmacy school, and the starting salary for pharmacists from Duquesne are roughly about a little bit above probably $100,000, which is really great coming out of a program. One of the biggest things that you guys want to look at when looking at colleges and universities is this placement factor. All right, it's huge because that's telling you, okay, if I'm spending all this money and time in my education, am I going to be placed someplace, and am I going to be able to get a job? So if I have to pay loans, I can pay them back. It's definitely huge to make sure you educate yourself about that percentage. They do have 30 fraternities and sororities and approximately 300 student organizations. So we always encourage you guys here at ONJ to get involved. We always will say the same thing in college. The more involved you are, the more people you can meet. So obviously it's great to pick a school that has those options available. They also are Division I athletics, and they have a really nice field that's right on campus there that overlooks the mountain, and you can see the rivers and all the hills in Pittsburgh, so it's a very pretty field that you guys can play on if you're interested in football. They also have a 14-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio, which is great. So your class sizes wouldn't be too large, and that's a great ratio you want to look at, especially if you're someone who thrives in learning in a smaller classroom environment. All right, and lastly, so these are some pictures that we took when we were on campus. They have this amazing bridge that connects, a walkway bridge that connects to this beautiful building they completely renovated, including a fitness facility, other restaurants and things like that. Overall, the campus is just absolutely beautiful. It's situated on a hill, but you don't really, you're not exercising too much because of the way they have it inclined and everything, but there are buildings actually built into the hill, which is neat. It's really neat. All right, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and open it up for questions and answers.